And now for a brief trip around the mind of a cynical shithead. When perusing the current TV schedule, desperately looking for something to talk about, I saw an advert for a show about various couples raising families and dealing with life. Like most adverts for TV shows, it didn't paint the show in a positive light. All I remember is a man shouting at 3 kids and they shout back at him. He had some kind of moustache, so naturally I assumed that those kids were prisoners in his dungeon, or they were being sold to Apple to work in their factories and he was the one that catches them and sells them on. No, not nice, but like I said, tore around a cynical brain. Oh, and the trailer opens with some kind of downbeat guitar track and a guy with a redneck voice. This coupled with the name means I've taken to calling it Last of Us. Fair enough really, they both have the same amount of gameplay. Looking past all of these points and the general low quality of the trailer, I saw a nice, upbeat, heartwarming tale about family, and my first thought was, fucking hell, this shit again? You tried it with Easy and to a lesser extent Love, and they were giant buckets of crusted whale jizz. This is surely going to be no different. If you ever wanted hard evidence that I'm an arse, here it is. This Is Us is actually the story of a number of people struggling with life, family and relationships. Like I said, upon learning this, my first thought was it was going to be a hateful waste of my precious limited time before the inevitable unmourned suicide. But something happened when I watched it. I actually cared about the characters. I was interested in the story. I enjoyed myself. "It's a Christmas miracle," said the uneducated preacher who always covers his ears and sings a hymn whenever someone attempts to tell him that Jesus, if he ever did exist, was born around the summertime, but his birthday was moved, proving how arbitrary this whole thing is. I don't understand why he covers his ears. He's so devoted to his religion. When he's singing He's Got the Whole World, he doesn't even swap the word hands for pants like a normal sane human. It isn't a miracle anyway. Enjoying a TV show more than you expected is actually what Christmas is all about. If the creators of Easy or Love are watching, and I know you definitely are, you're probably feeling slightly done over here. You probably thought it was just the genre I hated, and yes, the genre doesn't interest me at all. I never would have watched this show at all if I wasn't searching in vain for something to complain about, because I'm incredibly easy to cope with as a human being who definitely isn't a massive piece of shit. The big problems with Love were the characters. The show heavily relied on you liking them, but I personally found them about as likeable as a coked-up 20-something ad executive insisting he understands the female demographic. Wink wink, eh? This meant I massively didn't care about the show or what was happening. The problem Easy had was the story. For one thing, instead of having them all work together, the stories were individual per episode, meaning the series had no point, and it wasn't particularly clever, funny or interesting, so again I didn't care. But lo and behold, This Is Us made an interesting story, and at the cunty crossroads decided to turn left down likeable lane, so I actually cared. Imagine that, caring about a TV show seems unusual. A special shout out to the generic man who has a network style fuck it we'll do it live moment on the set of a sitcom, making me think he must be a fan. You tell him, generic man. But now we're at the problem of recommending it. I mean, it was great for the genre that I don't really care about. As a comedy it wasn't one basically, same as Love. I think the bloke who labels the genres gets paid per word. Definitely watch this if you like personal family dramas because this does it properly. And to everyone else it doesn't sell the genre but it is good. Certainly better than I expected, but my expectations were so low. How low, do you ask? They were down in hell getting sodomised by every single ex-pope and 70s entertainer because the expectations were also new to this world. Merry Christmas.